And well, there's a lot of script competitions out there. Why did you submit to FilmarketHub's competition? What stood out for you from all the other competitions?
Well, after I signed with my agent and my career was progressing well, I'd actually stopped submitting to competitions because I was getting plenty of meetings and I felt like, the time had come to move on. But competitions are great for setting goals and deadlines and building reputations. And if you place or you win, it's great to show progress and confidence in your work. And the issue is that if you don't place, it can be a demotivator. And of course, it's all subjective. And then you have to weigh up the value of the prizes on offer and the true odds of winning. But I looked at this contest and it stood out as unusual for its super high focus on exposing and championing those that place or win. And amongst the prizes were some fabulous opportunities for enhancing my industry exposure. And it felt globally inclusive to many of the contests that I have taken part in the past, because most of them tend to focus on America, whereas this seemed a lot more international with Europe and UK at its heart as well. And all the terms and conditions were clear, the reading process, the judges, it all just looked, so enticing, and it felt very specific to my needs at that time as an emerging professional. And the pilot was already doing well, but it was more acting as a writing sample than a viable project, which of course it is. But I thought, well, that exposure, it can't harm. Why not? So I thought, well, put your money where your mouth is, and submitted the script.
So some of the prizes from the competition included having your script read by the executive partners from the competition, and also being submitted to the final of FilmarketHub's UK online Pitchbox. What were your expectations after winning, and how did you prepare for Pitchbox?
I have to say it was a bit of a shock. My expectations for winning was that somebody would read my scripts, some really good people would read my scripts and we'd have a chat about them later. I had kind of ignored the Pitchbox bit a little bit. So for me, winning the contest delivered results far beyond my expectations, because I'd certainly got the promised exposure and the reads by those great companies and the feedback and the one-to-one meetings. And I'd hoped that those would lead to discussions about this series, but also that it would open up doors to other ideas for the future, which it certainly did. And then it left it down to me and my writing and other ideas as to what happened then. But the Pitchbox came as out of the blue, considering we were in lockdown and I didn't have any filmmaking or sound equipment apart from my laptop. And I realized that if we were pitching over Zoom, because this year it had to be that way, me just sitting here like this, speaking to camera, could be a little bit boring without some visual aids. So I decided I needed to make a visually engaging little segment to go in the middle of my live pitch, which proved something of a technical challenge, but huge fun, because I had some help from some great filmmaker friends and actors, as well as from you guys. And I was able to create a really good mood reel for my pitch. And that really taught me a lot as well about the whole process. But I just delivered well beyond, because now I've got that pitch as well recorded and I can still send that out if I want to. And it was just that, and all the people I spoke to, so supportive and really engaged with that and with me during the pitch and the meetings. So yeah,
fantastic. Had you ever sort of pitched at a live event like that before? And if not, what did you learn from this particular event in terms of how to pitch?
I hadn't pitched as such to a live event. I pitched to other writers in courses and initiatives and one-to-one meetings, or just sort of learning, networking, all that sort of thing, but not actually there, but in effect on stage. But it was just just go with the flow, learn from it, deal with it, be yourself, don't be too weird. Except, of course, you've got to be a little bit weird to be a screenwriter. But the positive feedback, throughout the whole process was just superb, and it strengthened my belief that writers need to get comfortable with this, because we're moving into an increasingly digital world. And it was a lot of fun to do, and it helped me to deliver the live segments of that pitch as well. So it's all it's all part of the process of moving along the line towards, you know, that day when I'm up there accepting my award speech.
Love it. Fantastic. And you got to have one-on-one meetings with 8 further executives who'd attended that pitch event. What was the feedback from the executives, and what was your experience of that part of the event?
Well, each one was very different, but there were so many. I mean, I had, you know, the 8 at that meeting, plus the ones afterwards for reading the script. So before too much to say, really, I'll be here all day. But some had already read the script when I talked to them. Some were going to read and feedback later, which they all did. Every single one of them was supportive and open and encouraging. The pitch box itself was kind of a little bit more focused on producer-director teams looking for co-producers and production companies and financing. So I already knew that as a writer that I was a slightly different fish in this little fish pond. But it was great to see all of their pitches and their progress too. Some great projects on there. But all around there was just huge encouragement for me and my writing, and that my ideas are worth pursuing and that they're good, and that the door's open for that and other future ideas. Because I did get the chance to, of course, to soft pitch some other ideas that I'm working on, and one of them being a new TV series, which most of them were like really keen and excited to read. So, you know, the door's open for that as well. So.
Fantastic. What is the current status of Undercurrent?
Well, I went into that meeting, which is another reason for submitting to the competition, I guess, was knowing that I just had 2 meetings with 2 massive production companies in London, and both of them said, if only we'd known of you sooner. They've just been commissioned with, unusually enough, Navy crime drama themed series. So it was a little bit sort of, you know, this happens to a lot of writers, that, you know, ideas are out there, and although mine is different and unique and is told from a genuine perspective of someone who's been in that world, it still got me to those meetings. But I just wanted to push it a little bit further and see what else we could do with it. And it's still opening doors for me now, and it's still a great writing sample, and you never know what the future holds. But within the pitch box, 2 development heads there were also open to the fact that if I do get a production company or producer involved, to make sure that they contact them as well, because they're still open to talking with teams. That was just a fabulous outcome all around, really.